Most High God, right? The great God of the universe, heaven, all right? One that keepeth covenants and mercies for them that love him and observe his commandments. And then to the Son, who we call Yahushai, who is our King, who is exalted to be a prince and a savior, the apostle and high priest of our profession, whom the Father used to reconcile us back to himself. So we thank God for him. And then everybody that's with us today, elders, mothers, brothers, sisters, even the young children, um, even those online, we thank God for each and every one of you. As the scripture says, the partakers of the heavenly calling, right? So we thank God for each and every one of you. All right, we are at our next chapter in Exodus. All right, our next chapter in Exodus. That will be Exodus chapter 14, I believe. I know I gave the wrong chapter out early. That's right, beloved. It's 14, correct? So I think I told by 15. I think we might be at 14. Um, that's about it. Okay. All right. All right. So we'll do a recap of 13. All right. Let's see if anything happened in 13. All right. So this is where Mosiah was telling us to sanctify both the man and the beast. This is dealing with Israel, talking about the sanctify. We talked about how sanctify is meaning to set apart. Okay. He did go over the unleavened bread and the feast as well. Um, everyone that opened the matrix, they should be the Lord's. All right. So that's the sanctification. They belong to him. Let's see. Okay. And then at the end, where we're about to get to, they're taking their journey. And once again, they did take Joseph's bones because Joseph asked them in, I think, the last chapter of Genesis, saying, when you leave here, because he knew the Most High was going to take him out of there, he's saying, listen, take my bones with you. Okay. And so they are taking his bones. You see Moses take his bones in verse 19 of chapter 13. Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Israel, saying, God will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones away hence with you. Okay. And we talked about this. He already knew this wasn't going to be permanent. This we got to realize sometimes the situations, we go through certain situations, and because the situations just seem so impossible and dire, and we can't fully comprehend it or understand it, we'll sometimes lose faith. All right. And the faith is the faith of his promises. Okay. The Most High already told them before they ever even entered into there, this is not the land I have for you. This is not the promise I have for you. All right. This is only a pit stop. But people, we was there so long, comfortable and everything that we got accustomed to it. All right. But we already knew he was going to take us out of there. But we're looking and saying, there ain't nobody taking the Egyptians on. Right. They're powerful. We can't get out of here. Right. But the Most High gave it to us by promise. Right? And he does not go back on his word. Verse 20, and they took their journey from Succoth and encamped in Etham and the edge of the wilderness. And Yahweh went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them by the way. All right. So the Most High was using a cloud to direct us. Okay. And by night in a pillar of fire to give them light. All right. So at nighttime we have a fire, and that's how he was getting directed. So he was using this to also show that he is guiding us. He is taking us out. All right. He is being in the forefront. Okay. Yes, it's probably the angels doing it. Okay. Angels work on his behalf. So to go by day and night. So we was traveling by day and we could travel by night. Okay. And once again, this is something to think about it when we talk about the day time. Sometimes you see day 24 hours, but this is talking about what time? Day and night. So we know what? That's talking about the light part. That's why we have a cloud. Okay. You can just have a cloud because we can all see that. But then when night happens, you need what? You need a source that you can see. You need a light source that you can see. Okay, that's why I was by fire by night. He took away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people. So they always seen cloud by day and this fire by night. This should also symbolize and strengthen their faith to say what? The Most High is with us all the time. Okay, you're literally seeing this cloud that you're following and taking you out, and then at night you're seeing this cloud of this cloud. This, what do they say exactly? Is it pillar of fire? I'm mixing the two up. Yeah, pillar of fire. We see this pillar of fire by night, so that's a miracle all in itself, beloved. You got a cloud, and then you got this pillar of fire guiding you day and night. You got a guide up in the sky, all right, directing you. So this is something also, but once again, you can have a miracle right before you and still lose faith. Okay. So this is why we talk about miracles. Miracles is to get your attention. But remember, don't just stay at the state where I have to see a miracle to believe. All right. Miracles there so you can catch on, believe. So now when he gives you the message and everything, you can believe it. All right. But when you don't take the miracle over the message, the miracle is to direct you to the message. Okay. All right. We are at Exodus chapter 14. Exodus chapter 14. Starting at verse 1. You can do about 3 verses.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they turn and encamp before Pi-hahiroth, between Migdol and the sea, over against Baal-zephon. Before it shall ye encamp by the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land. The wilderness have shut them in.
All right. So speaking of Moses, right? And remember, I tell you, Most High has everything planned out. Everything is calculated. Okay. So he got him, excuse me. So he got them going a certain way and encamping in this area. All right. So he said, before shall ye encamp by the sea. All right. That's the reason why he's giving them this direction. For Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, listen, they are entangled in the land. The wilderness have shut them in. All right. He's going to say, look at them. They're trapped. Okay. Might be even thinking, look at this. Maybe the gods are giving me favor. Let them out. Look, now they're trapped. Okay. Once again, he had all these, every time all these miracles and things he's seeing. All right, y'all get out of here. But you see, if your mind is not really about serving the Most High, doing those things, it can go back and forth. It can go back to and fro. That's why I talk about double-minded person in James. It's no good to the Most High. All right. But this is Pharaoh, and he's seeing it, he's like, all right, and he's plotting. They trapped. What can I do? All right. Let's go to verse 4. Let's go to verse 4. I'm sorry, did anybody have anything? Okay.
And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them. And I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, that the Egyptians may know that I am Yahweh. And they did so. And it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this, that we have let Israel go from serving us? And he made ready his chariot and took his people with him.
Go ahead, you can read the next verse.
And he took 600 chosen chariots and all the chariots of Egypt and captains over every one of them.
All right. Anybody got anything from 4 to 7? Anything from 4 to 7? I will harden Pharaoh's heart that he shall follow after them. Right. And some people think like a harden, like, oh, he just forces, even though they don't want to do it, that's not truly when you're looking at what the hardened part is, right? Pharaoh already having his mind. He never really want to let him go. All right. Most I just let him, think he can do something about it. But he didn't never want them to go. All right. Look at verse 4. And I will be honored upon Pharaoh. The reason he's still letting Pharaoh, have that desire to go and destroy him, because what? He said, I'm going to get glory and honor from this. All right. Not just Pharaoh, but what? And upon all his host. All right. That the what? Egyptians may know that I am Yahweh, and they did so. Okay. So I want them to know, not just Israel, I want them to know and be a witness of my might, that I am the only true God. Okay. There's not something you want it hidden and secret. Just no. The whole world needs to know it's only one true God. And every other God that your nations may have devised and created and, as idols and all that stuff to make it seem like there's some kind of power on the earth, they are nothing. Okay. The only power that be is from the Most High, and the only power that can be created after that is what he brings out. Okay. But other than that, it's no power. Okay. Unless the Most High give it. So once again, you gotta love verse 5. And it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled. And the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this? That we have let Israel go from serving us. Right? They know why. Because the Most High was beating them up with plagues. But you see how easy you can forget? All right? They're like, man, why we let them go? All right. And this is sometimes, beloved, I talk about even with us, not just with us, with people in the just in the world in general. Sometimes Most High does certain things get our attention, and then we'll just soon forget. We was crying about the Most High, set us free, deliver us from, this life and these situations, things like that. And then what? He delivers. He's like, man, why do we go and do that? Why do we make that decision? And sometimes we go right back to it. And this is what Peter talking about, talking about that ancient proverb. The pig go back to their mire. The thing that you got delivered from, that filth and everything you got delivered from, you go back and dealing with it. Okay? So it's a blessing, beloved, if you stand in a mindset where you can always remember that the Most High has brought you out. And whatever, no matter what the situation come out, you always remember the Most High bring you out. He brought you out. Okay? But do not forget. Do not forget and say, you know what? Why did I get myself? Why I try to get myself clean and prepare for the Most High? Why don't let us get distracted, beloved, by that. Okay. All right. So now they go and they're making their chariots ready. All right. And they taking the host with them. Okay. And their chariots were I want to say that time they were known for their chariots. Like this is one thing they stood out with the Egyptians with their chariots. Like you look at history. Okay. So it's getting ready. All right. All right, let's keep going, brother. Let's keep going.
Verse 8. And Yahweh hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel. And the children of Israel went out with a high hand. But the Egyptians pursued after them all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them encamping by the sea, beside Pihahiroth, before Baal-Zephon. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were sore afraid, and the children of Israel cried unto Yahweh.
All right. Brother, you got to make sure you say them names perfectly. You're going to mess up the story. Nah. So we look at this, beloved. I'm glad you're here reading about it. All right. So once again, it says the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart. Okay. So he did go after him. All right. And he went. I'm sorry. After the children of Israel, and the children of Israel went out with a high hand. We already know that was already prophesied and talked about. Okay. So he's going and trying to overtake them. That's why he's bringing the horses and chariots, right, to hurry up and catch them. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, once again, they see this army coming. They see the Egyptians coming. So naturally, I'm not going to say they don't forget about. No, I'm going to be naturally, beloved. Naturally, they see the army coming. They don't got no defense. They're looking like, man, we about to be overtaken. Should they have remembered that the Most High delivered them and wouldn't have just brought them out just so they? Yes, they should have. Okay. But naturally, like I said, they're just getting out. They're not fully into faith and all that stuff yet, beloved. So I'm just going to kind of give a little mercy, but they seen it and it scared them. Okay. And the one good thing I'll give to them, what did they do? They were sore afraid and they cried out unto the
Mhm.
that I can't fault him for that. If you get scared to death, go and cry out to him.
Yep.
All right. That is not a sign of weakness. That's a sign of strength and understanding. First of all, it's humility to say, listen, there's certain things that I'm not ready. All right. There's something I understand I'm weak at this moment. I need strength. And I'm going to the source. Okay. So and some people might not have been scared at all. That's fine as well. But it's not a slight on if you got scared. As long as you turn to the Most High. Most High don't get mad about those kind of things. You're supposed to go to go to the Father. All right. So at least they had that going for them. Okay. But yeah, when we get there, we're going. We was a trip though. I'll say that. All right, you ended at 10, Brother Kai?
Yes, sir. I'm at verse 11.
11. Okay. Yeah.
And they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than we should die, that we should die in the wilderness.
All right. Anybody got anything for that? Try to leave a little suspense. But all right. So we see how 4 by they went to y'all where it started at verse all right, 11. Okay. Listen what they start saying. And they said to Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, thou taken us away to die in the wilderness. Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us to carry us forth out of Egypt? So when we get scared, beloved, all right, this is why fear is not a sober spirit. All right. Fear can make you think, say and make you think things that will, go against the faith. All right. So he's saying that whole thing. First of all, we know Moses, the poster child of deliverance, right? But really, who delivered us? The Most High. So coming at Moses, really coming at the Most High. What, you delivered us out of Egypt just so we could die out here? Oh, they didn't have enough graves for people to fit in, so you made us come out here so we can be killed out here. This is how they coming at him, okay? So being a leader of Israel, it's a tough job, all right? Might have been one of the toughest in the world. All right, dealt with us to carry us forth out of Egypt. Verse 12, it is not the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone that we may serve the Egyptians. Now look what they're saying. And this is how people get, beloved. This is why I want y'all to understand. This is psychological stuff that we deal with even today. They were crying. Remember, the Most High went to Moses saying what? My people crying out to me. That's why I'm going to deliver them. Now you look what they're saying. They was all happy a few days ago, right? When they're getting out of that slavery, they all happy, praising Moses and the Most High and all that stuff. And now soon as some fear come upon them, look what they doing. I told you should have just left us where we was at. We was good where we was at. As soon as a little situation happened, oh, so you should have left us there. When people say, oh, you should have just left me out in the world. I was better off in the world, right? Because sometimes anger, fear, those kind of things. All right, but we have to be mindful, beloved, because our words matter. Okay? So we have to be mindful what we're uttering. For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians that we should die in the wilderness. Okay. And like I said, this is fear talking. All right. We have to understand this is fear talking. Okay, so they scared. Listen, I'd rather be a slave than I get killed out here. That's basically what they're saying. Okay, but nonetheless, we have to be mindful. 13, listen. And Moses said to the people, fear ye not. I like, I'm anal about certain words and everything. When you look at passages through the scriptures, you'll see a lot of times he's telling them what? Don't be afraid. Be of good courage. He tried to change your spirit because fear is not a good spirit to be in. Okay. He said, I don't know what the scripture is, the New Testament, he has not given us the spirit of fear. Right. Somebody find that, you can put that on the chat. All right. He did not give us that spirit. Okay. Look at the Bible. Look at the patterns. He got patterns. Look at people when they was in fear and see the condition they were with the Most High. All right. All right. So 13. Fear ye not. Stand still. Love that. Fear not. Stand still. Don't move. Just stand there and see the salvation of the Lord. All right. Which he will show to you today. For the Egyptians who you have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever. Okay. So he said, look at this, consider this. So don't be scared. Just look, just wait. Just wait. And that's what some of us, beloved, will go to say, just wait on them. Sometimes when you get scared, you're ready to move. Sometimes you'll make a worse decision because you're moving off of fear. Sometimes you got to what? Sit, analyze the situation. Okay? Fear ye not, stand still and see. Just watch the Most High move. A lot of our situations, beloved, the Most High can't do it because we're so scared. We moving and we all distracted. Sit and watch and see what the Most High doing. After you've done the will of God, you're in need of. Anybody remember that verse? What's that word? After you've done the will of God, you're in need of what? Starts with, if I give you that letter, that might give it away. If you've done the will of God, you're in need of, starts with a P. I'll give you that. What are you in need of?
Patience.
Patience. All right. Why I say that, beloved? Because we are so impatient in everything we do. All right. We want everything to remove in our time. Even when we're ministering to people, beloved, you talk to people, you need a patience. Sometimes they're not going to listen. You ain't going to just give them scripture. Oh, I see it. Okay, I'm ready to serve. Not going to happen all the time. I'm not Most High have you go and do something. Maybe you just want to plant the seed. But we want to plant the seed, water it, and give the increase. Right? We got to see the whole product. Sometimes you just there to plant the seed. And you just thank God. After you plant that seed, you go move on. Ask the Most High, all right, do what you're going to do. All right. After we've done the will of God, beloved, we're in need of patience. Sometimes we just got to wait. Okay. Let God move. Let God handle the situation. Because you know what? Sometimes the Most High is doing 10, 15 other things. Okay. And sometimes we're only looking through our limited lens. Okay. But the Most High got moving pieces in other places. And if you move or be too rash for doing something, you can mess it up. So this is why we have to be patient. Okay. Patience, possess your souls. Okay. All right. Let's go back to this. Okay. So the Egyptians you see today, you're not going to see anymore. All right. So where are they going to go? All right, Brother Kai, let's keep going. We have verse 14. All right.
Yahweh shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. And Yahweh said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel, that they go forward. But lift thou up thy rod, and stretch out thine hand over the sea, and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. And I, behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them. And I will get me honor upon Pharaoh, and upon all his hosts, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen.
All right. Anybody got anything for those verses? So we know the Most High is going to fight on his behalf. But look at verse 15. Yahweh said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Why are you crying to me? All right. Listen what he says, speaking to the children of Israel that they go forward. And it might seem small, beloved, but I want you to understand, if God already gave you a mission, already gave you the game plan how things are going to go, you crying to him is not going to change it. All right. He already said what? I'm going to take you out of here. You're going to be going to this what? This land that was promised to you. You think because Egyptians is coming, that should change the promises? People don't think about all this. So they say, what you crying to me? What do you think will happen? We're going to continue on the path. Sometimes we think the path changed because our mindset starts to change. No, you're going to fear God and keep his commandments. Oh, man, but I just lost my job. Lord, what? You're going to fear God and keep his commandments. Right? The mission, the plan ain't changed. The promise ain't changed. But because we get fear start to set in, we start to, like I said, panic. Oh, my friend don't want to deal with me because I serve God. What you trying to go, Lord, what should I do? And it's all right if you ask him for direction and everything. But I'm not going to even think that I'm going to compromise what I'm supposed to do for the Most High because of that. And a lot of times, beloved, that's what we do. Because fear, that spirit of fear, starts to torment us. And when you're scared and everything, you start to be irrational. You start to move and you start to panic. And that's what gets you destroyed. That's what gets you killed. All right? So looking at this, he's saying, listen, what you crying out? What are you crying to me for? Tell the children of Israel, go forward. All right? I didn't deliver you here just for you to get right here. But what? But lift up thy rod and stretch out thy hand over the sea and divide and remember with the miracles. He was always doing that. Moses was always doing that. Lifting the rod and everything, showing what? That the Most High is doing this. All right. Moses being that representation, right? That workmanship of the Most High. All right. So we know the Most High is doing it because people start giving all kind of excuses what happened. Definitely if you're scared, you're going to be making up certain things. The seas open up. I don't know what happened. See, no, the Most High don't want none of that. He wants you to know it's me that did it. All right. Let's go to verse. All right. Lift up thy rod and stretch out thy hand over the sea and divide it. All right. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. All right. So they're going to go dry ground through the midst of the sea. And you read 17, right? No. You stopped at 16, right?
Now I read 17.
Okay. So once again, he said, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians that they shall follow them. Because why is he doing this, beloved? This is why we're reading it. He's doing this because he wants them to honor him. He wants them to know that I am the true living God. Okay. So this is why, like I said, the writers already implemented in there for us. Okay. But he already told us beforehand. This is why I want them following Israel, right? I want them to think they're trapped. I want them to come because I want them to know without a shadow of a doubt that I am real. Okay? Beloved, we need to understand that he is real. Before we over there start talking about it, we got to be fully persuaded. All right? Because some people's faith gets established upon how we believe something. All right? If you shaky on the belief, you ain't probably going to convince me. But if you firm without doubt, all right, all virtue and all sincerity in your heart, and you know God is real, all right, that can shake somebody that's, not strong. Okay. So this is what we want to do. We want to make sure that we are fully persuaded. All right, let's keep going. Right. So they got the whole host going after the children of Israel. All right.
Verse 18. And the Egyptians shall know that I am Yahweh, when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. An angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them, and the pillar of the cloud went from before their face, and stood behind them. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel. And it was a cloud and darkness to them, but it gave light by night to these, so that the one came not near the other all the night. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and Yahweh caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided.
All right. Anybody got anything for those verses? All right. So verse 19, I kind of slipped and said a little earlier. So we see it says the angel of God which went before the camp of Israel, right? Removed and went behind them. So it's an angel that's guiding them. All right. Remember, I said the Most High used his angels, all right, and the angels guiding them. And the pillar of cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. Okay. So remember, the pillar cloud is by day, the pillar of fire by night. Okay. So now they're saying it went behind them. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel. And it was a cloud and darkness to them. All right. So Egyptian dark and cloudless to them, but it gave light by night to these, so that one came not near the other all that night. So the Most High was using that as a defense for us. Okay. He was using that as a defense for us. Once again, that was showing a representation of the Most High protecting us and leading us out, right? The Most High led us out of Egypt. All right. He's using this, showing symbolism of him leading us out. Okay. Let's go. And then let me see. All right. So once again, he called the sea. He didn't do it. I mean, it is a miracle. All right. But even with the miracles, some miracles he'll use natural things to show strength of his power. All right. So he used what? A strong east wind all that night. And that's what he used to what? To make that way. That's a strong wind, beloved. To move the Red Sea and divide it like that. All right. Even where there's dry land. And this is something we can look. He said, seen it earlier. I think it's Proverbs 30. Kyle, you remember that son's name? He said, I think the wind is in his fist. Is that son? I think it's 30. Let me see. It's like something, I think it's like verse 4 or something. 30. There you have this. All right. Proverbs 30. Proverbs 30. Right. Let's read verse 4. Proverbs 30. I'm gonna read verse 4.
Who hath ascended up into heaven or descended?
Mm-hmm.
Who hath gathered the wind in his fist? Who hath bound the waters in a garment? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name? If thou canst tell.
We see even things like that being mentioned in the book. All right. And we, like I said, there's other stuff that just reminded when we saying the wind and everything. All right. So we know that all those kind of things belong to the Most High. All right. So we just attributed once again. I'm sure the Egyptians might have had they might have had a god dealing with the wind. It wouldn't be far-fetched. But also the Red Sea was very important, definitely to the Egyptians. So doing that and having control of that, that's huge. Okay. That is huge. I think there was, I think there was a deity that they said was actually in the Red Sea. I gotta look back at it again, but I think they said it was a deity that they reverenced to at least have power over the Red Sea or something. All right. But I'd look at that another time. All right. Let's go back to Exodus 14. All right. Where you at, brother?
On 3.
Looks about right.
I'm going to start back up at 22.
Okay.
And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them in the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. And it came to pass that in the morning watch Yahweh looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians, and took off their chariot wheels, that they drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, let us flee from the face of Israel, for Yahweh fighteth for them against the Egyptians. And Yahweh said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots, and upon their horsemen. And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it, and Yahweh overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea.
All right. Anybody got anything for those verses? I was 23 to 27 or 22 to 27. All right. Kind of straightforward. All right. Mosiah put the what? Host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and the cloud and troubled the host of the Egyptians. All right. So once again, he is what? Fighting their battles literally. Okay. How I do this one was what? Took off their chariot wheels. So that it can be take off or turn aside. If you go to the Hebrew of it. All right. So some people argue like, oh, do you think all their wheels just popped off? It could be that, or it could be that he like stuck in a certain way where it was making it very hard for them to move to use their chariots. Remember, that's the chariots that was their thing. You know what I mean? So did anything with it. They've been through many battles with it. Okay. So they knew it was something, all right, well, that they drave them heavily. So he affected their chariots. Okay. And they're like, man, listen, we got to get away from these Israel people. Their God be fighting for them. Okay, getting glory amongst them. Because this whole thing, beloved, somebody we get caught up with this Bible's about the Most High. All right. When you read this thing, this is about giving glory and honor to the Most High. If you miss that throughout the scriptures, you had another agenda. Okay. It is not a thing. Israel's involved with this history with this and everything, but that is not the focal point. Men have went and tried to dilute it. This thing is about how the Most High is the only true God, okay, and what he can do. All right, it's about him getting the glory. Okay. Okay. Lord said to Moses, stretch out thy hand over the sea. Okay, so he's stretching over, and the waters came again upon the Egyptians with their chariots and their horsemen. So once again, he's using Moses, the staff, to show that what? This is the Most High doing it. Okay. And he told to put it down. And remember, he said, the Egyptians you see today, you will see no more. Right. So this is where they basically drowning. Some scholars will say you go to the Red Sea and they found certain chariots and stuff in the sea. Think that for what you want. Okay. All right, let's keep going, brother. Let's keep going.
28. And the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all the host of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained it not so much as one of them. But the children of Israel walked upon dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. Thus Yahweh saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. And Israel saw that great work which Yahweh did upon the Egyptians. And the people feared Yahweh and believed Yahweh and his servant Moses.
All right. All right, so he got that reverence. All right, that reverence he want. All right. Israel saw the great work which Yahweh did upon the Egyptians, and the people feared him. All right, because the first thing, beloved, is about us. We try and get everybody else to fear the Most High. We got to understand that. So that's why he deals with us. We get that reverence of the Most High. All right. Now they believe in him. You would think, wow, you should have believed them all through there. That's why I say people can see miracles and still not believe. All right. Through all that and saying now they what? Believed in Yahweh. And then they believe what? Also in Moses. Okay. All right. Let's all right. Let's go to the next chapter. It's dealing with a song, so we're gonna kind of just read it. Just you can just hear what it says. If Brother Kai want to sing it, he can sing it or he can read it. You know, nah, I'm messing. All right. So like I said, sometimes we think all the songs are in like Psalms and everything. Majority of them are okay, but this is a song as well. All right. So let's start Exodus chapter 15. Exodus chapter 15. This will be our last chapter for today.
Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto Yahweh, and spake, saying, I will sing unto Yahweh, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The house and his rider hath he thrown into the sea.
The horse, I was just correcting the horse and
The
the
horse,
rider.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay.
Fine.
Yahweh is my strength and song, and he is become my salvation. He is my power, and I will prepare him a habitation. My father's God, and I will exalt him. Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. Pharaoh's chariots and his hosts hath he cast into the sea. His chosen captains also are drowned in the Red Sea.
So I'm just pausing real quick. So we just see, I like to see it because, beloved, this is just like how we'll praise Most High. You know, somebody can look at it as a prayer or whatever, but we praise him. Well, God, you're so good. You deliver us from this. It's the same kind of thing. We're exalting, you're praising him. Okay. So when people do that, that's acceptable in Most High's eyes. Okay. They could have some music behind. I don't know, whatever, but this is part of praise. We can refer to a song. So we see the Lord's a man of war because what? They actually seeing the Most High fight for them, literally. So something that kind of wasn't recorded, earlier passages. But this way, remember he said they're gonna know me, they're gonna know me differently than they knew me back there. All right, they knew me, Abraham and them knew me a certain way, but y'all gonna know me by this name. Y'all gonna know me as a God that's alive and fight my battle. See, they experiencing God on a whole different intimate level. Okay, so we see this, and he says, "What is his name?" Read that verse 3 again.
Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name.
I was like, I am that I am, right? And we was talking about that. You don't see it reflected throughout the scriptures, but we keep seeing the Lord all caps, the tetragrammaton. All right. All right. What verse do you leave off at? 5?
Or,
Okay.
but I'll read it again. Pharaoh's chariots and his hosts have he cast into the sea. His chosen captains also are drowned in the Red Sea. The depths have covered them. They sank into the bottom as a stone. Thy right hand, O Yahweh, is become glorious in power. Thy right hand, O Yahweh, have dashed in pieces the enemy. And in the greatness of thy excellency, thou hast overthrown them that rose up against thee, that sendest forth thy wrath, which consumed them as stubble.
If anybody got anything, any questions, I'm just gonna kind of let them go. This is all still part of that song. Just really giving honor and glory to what they just witnessed. Okay. And this is good to put in the song because the song helps you what? To not forget. All right. So this is why we will sing songs and everything, because it stay in your mind. There's certain things you go to church this way. Sometimes the song pops right in your mind. All right, they'll stay with you. It's like a tune thing. So songs and everything, it's very good to have those things. All right. Let's keep going.
Verse 8, and with the blast of thy nostrils, the waters were gathered together. The flood stood upright as an heap, and the depths were congealed in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoil. My lust shall be satisfied upon them. I will draw my sword, my hand shall destroy them. Thou didst blow with thy wind, the sea covered them. They sank as lead in the mighty waters. Who is like unto thee, O Yahweh, among the gods? Who is like thee, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders?
One more verse for me.
Thou stretch out thy right hand, the earth swallowed them.
All right. So once again, like I said, it's given praise, rightfully so, just going over what he is, and we should know these things, beloved. Of that verse 11, who is like thee? Who is likened unto thee? Who is like unto thee? We got among the gods. All right. And this is the point. So I think we think all this about the Egyptians. No, this is about us. We have to understand who is like him. Because if you understand that you are dealing with the only true living God, that if you have that understanding, it should take a lot of the fears that you have away. If you really believe it. A lot of times when we have fear, doubt, all this stuff, it's usually because what? We start to get away from that. This is what I'm saying. Sometimes we don't verbally say it, but our actions will show. Right? Man, I'm scared. What are you scared for? Right? I'm not getting about, you talk to myself. Do you believe that God can't help you, can't protect you? What do you think it is? But sometimes we don't acknowledge it even when things happening. Even with jobs and everything. Listen, did the Most High provide or don't he provide? Because sometimes I start thinking, I did it. I got it because, I'm good. I can articulate. You start to think it's you. And sometimes the Most High had to knock you off that pedestal so you realize it. No, it's me. I'm in control of that. But sometimes we don't even acknowledge and thank God for the things we have. We only cry unto him when what? It get taken away. We don't want to be that, beloved. This is one thing I see in 4 hours. Stop. You always want to do these things when we're in a crisis. Where's the praise at when things are going well? Because, beloved, life can hit you and it can hit you fast. You can be at your highest high this week and at your lowest low next week. But will your praise be the same? Would your dedication be the same? It's one thing you dedicate to Most High, and things ain't going well. You give more dedication to him. A lot of times that's not how it goes. All right. Who is like him, beloved? Who can we turn to if he's the only? That's it. Some of us might have plan B's and C's when it comes to serving God, but he don't want that. If you got a plan B, if this don't work out, work with God and everything, I got this plan. See, if you got that thought, you ain't really serving God. If you can only have one plan, if this don't work, that's it. There's no other God, there's no other power, there's nothing else you can turn to. All these other things are distractions and things that the Satan done put in play for you to feel comfortable going against the Most High. That's all Satan do. He makes little comfortabilities in rebellion. But beloved, this is why it says what? Take heed lest ye fall. Give God the praise and honor and glory. Do those things while you have that right mind. Don't just get comfortable and take it for granted. Okay? So we want to give honor to the Most High because there's what? Nobody like him. Glorious in holiness, fearful in praise, doing wonders. What God does that? There's none. Okay? And this is why you'll see even like Isaiah passages is saying, if there's any, there's none beside me, right? And some people, you have to understand the context of that, right? He said there's, where he's at, there's nobody beside him. And we know he's in heaven, all right? If you take that literally, it's going to mess things up because who else is in heaven, right? We got the sun, we got the angels, all right? But when you look at the context of it, people don't understand. You're reading it. He's dealing with what? Y'all over there going to idols and all these kind of things and dealing with all these gods and giving them reverence. There's none on me, on my level. They really don't even exist if you really understand it. But he's saying, even if you want to go there, there's none like me. Okay? And this is the Most High constantly trying to reprogram our minds, because when we go to sin, we start putting all these different things in there. But he's constantly trying to make us flush away those things, those thoughts of the world. And what? Realize that he is the only true God. And we need to put all our faith in him, all our trust in him. Okay? His word is golden, beyond gold, whatever the most precious thing is. His word is that. And I shouldn't compromise it for anything. Even if I can't see how this is going to turn out, I shouldn't compromise it for anything, because I know he is living. I know he's watching. That's the thing. Think about it. If you know the Most High is watching you, right? How would you walk? How would you do things? Let's believe him, beloved. Okay? Let's believe him. All right, let's keep going. Okay, because they doing all this singing, but we move forward. We're gonna see. You could be you could be praising him and all that stuff, and next moment you could be real low. So we just want to make sure we stay in focus. All right, keeping our mind stayed on him. All right, let's keep going, brother Kai.
13.
Let me see where we at. Okay.
Thou in thy mercy hast led forth the people which thou hast redeemed. Thou hast guided them in thy strength unto thy holy habitation. The people shall hear and be afraid. Sorrow shall take hold on the inhabitants of Palestina. Then the dukes of Edom shall be amazed. The mighty men of Moab, trembling, shall take hold upon them. All the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away.
Right.
Fear and dread shall fall upon them. By the greatness of thine arm, they shall be as still as a stone, till thy people pass over, O Yahweh, till the people pass over, which thou hast purchased.
All right. This is a more intimate talk with his beloved dealing with his people. All right. 13, thou in the mercy has led forth the people which thou hast redeemed. All right. In thy mercy. Okay. Not that we have particularly, but it was his mercy. All right. His Lord's mercy that we're not consumed, those kind of things. And his mercy, he what? Let us and what? Forth the people which thou hast redeemed. He purchased us. That's why we belong to him. Okay. So when they saying what? Verse 14, the people shall fear and be afraid. They gonna get scared when they hear the whole nation escaped out of Egypt. There's no way. They don't even have a military. How did they escape out of Egypt? The military house, which is nothing. That's impossible. There's no way. You know, that's the fear that's going on. What happened that these slaves were able to get out and be delivered, and they don't have no military strength, no formation or nothing? I hope y'all can catch what's going on. What's really about it? It was about what power was able to deliver them out of Egypt's hand? Because it surely wasn't them. And I want to think soberly, beloved, it wasn't us. It was what? Our God that did it. Okay. And once again, he's talking about the other dukes of Edom, all right, the mighty men of Moab. Trembling shall take hold upon them. They getting scared. All right, the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away. We know we went up in there. A lot of them were scared. They was fleeing. They tried to come, band together. They were scared. And what was that? I believe it was Rahab the harlot. Might have been her. Don't quote me on it. But he's saying, we heard what your God did. Like, oh no, we heard about that, right? This is some big news, beloved. That was our rep probably, for years. And the Egyptians, they have these slaves, and what they call, the Israelites. They don't have no military, nothing. They said their God was fighting for them. Man, it was blood in the sea. You know how people just they talk and say all these things. Man, we ain't trying to mess with them. And guess what? They coming this way. This is the fear that's going on. So they was here, they heard about what our God did, and that's what brought fear upon them. Not particularly us, the people. Nah, we'll kill you like any other nation. It was like, no, they have an actual God that fights for them. Like the heathens, like we got gods, but listen, we don't see them actually moving and doing stuff. We hear people saying stuff and attributing things to them, but their God actually fought for them. I mean, not one miracle, two. He doing this, miracle after miracle after miracle. They even try to go and chase him, and their God did this. You see how God is just getting the praise? And we just feel, Israel, we should just be, in bliss, like, yes, that's our God, right? Not in getting, evil thoughts saying, that's us, he blowing us, we get opposite. No, that's our God. That's the advantage of serving our God. And it behooves you to do the same. All right? But this is where we got to think soberly. All right? Because I see some that spirits start coming in. We get high mind thinking about it. We start reading them scriptures. When we get through some of these scriptures and everything, some of these famous lines that's used, y'all going to see, no, you've been deceived by some of these scriptures. They have not been told sober-mindedly. Okay? I'm not gonna take away special people. We special because of our God, but I'm telling you, some of them scriptures, Israel, some of us done perverted them. And they're taking away the strength of what those scriptures are supposed to be doing. It's supposed to be giving glory to the Most High. It ain't gonna be giving glory to us. That ain't what some of them scriptures are designed to do. Okay? So we got to make sure we understand it when we read this thing is about the Most High and giving him the praise, beloved. What makes us special is that he chose us, that we can give him the praise. That's the special thing about us. But if we get caught up, all right, in the wrong things and get our minds polluted, we're going to be just like the heathens. Okay? All right, let's keep going, Brother Kai.
17. Thou shalt bring them in and plant them in the mountain of thine inheritance in a place, O Yahweh, which thou hast made for thee to dwell in the sanctuary, O Yahweh, which thy hands have established. Yahweh shall reign forever and ever. For the horse of Pharaoh went in with his chariots and with his horsemen into the sea, and Yahweh brought again the waters of the sea upon them. But the children of Israel went on dry land in the midst of the sea. And Miriam, the prophetess, and sister of Aaron, took a timbrel in her hand. And all the women went out after her with timbrels and with dances. And Miriam answered them, Sing ye to Yahweh, for he had triumphed gloriously. The house and his rider have he thrown into the sea.
All right, good. All right, so once again, I love verse 17. Thou shalt bring them in and plant them in what? The mountain of thy inheritance. In the place, O Yahweh, which thou hast made for thee to dwell in the sanctuary, O Yahweh, which thy hands have established. All right, so he set a place for us. Okay, he set a place for us, and he've established it. All right, this is when we get into the promised land. Okay. Now, when you think of a sanctuary, right? Say this. Okay, let's think of the time. When we go in the sanctuary, what's one of the main times we think about a sanctuary? What day do we come to mind when we think about a sanctuary, beloved? What day comes to mind when we think about the sanctuary?
Sunday.
Oh, I should ask that question, Greg. That is true. That's true. So with our people, with Israel, right, dealing with righteousness, Right? What day did we go to a
I
sanctuary?
love the Sabbath.
Sabbath, right? I know. I should have asked her. Right. So yes, the Sabbath. And the Sabbath is what? Dealing with what? What do we also call the Sabbath? A what day?
Sanctified.
Sanctified Sabbath, and it's a rest day, right? It said that's why it's set apart, right? You rest this day. All days you working at this one's sanctified, set apart. You rest this day, right? And this is where the Most High, we understand it. This was supposed to be our rest. Okay. So you look at there's I don't know if I think it's in Hebrews when I start talking about that. A lot of people think about just the Sabbath. I mean about like the end and everything. But no, the Most High set this thing up. This was supposed to be our rest. We be resting every day because we supposed to be what? First of all, we rested from traveling because we doing so much traveling, right? But it's supposed to be a place that will be safe, that we didn't have to worry about enemies and things like that. It was supposed to be a rest for us. Okay. The only thing that could get us out of that place, beloved, I want you to realize it was never from the outside. What was going to get us kicked out of our sanctuary, out of our land? It was what we did on the inside. We was impeccable. We was doing what that said, Lord. Nobody was going to be able to overtake us. But what? We got puffed up, high mind, all those things, and start getting away from the Most High. And remember, he talked about, that he had that hedge around us. But what? We start doing things that we're supposed to be doing, sinning everything. He said, what? I'm going to take that hedge off. Right? Because y'all think y'all big and bad and y'all protect y'all. And what happened? Enemies came, beat us up in there, took us from there, all those things. But it was set for us to be a sanctuary, to be a resting ground, a place we can go for what? To live righteously. No matter wherever anybody was at in the world, if they wanted to be where the light was, they were what? They would have came right there. This is what God set up, as a sanctuary. You want to learn about the true living God of the whole earth? Go there. You want to see how the world's supposed to be run? You have to go there, right? We were supposed to be that light on the hill, right? That land was set for us to do what? Righteousness. Righteousness is supposed to dwell there. It's supposed to be righteousness and holiness is supposed to be flowing through it like a river. All right. That's why the land was so blessed that it's supposed to show. We were supposed to show the world this is what serving God is all about. All right. Not, oh, it's a bondage to be. No, they're supposed to look at it and say, man, this is what it's about, serving the true God. This is the kind of peace you get. This is what we got. Probably the closest, I think one of the closest times we've been there is probably with King Solomon. Some people think David, no, King Solomon, right? We had rest from all our enemies, right? People was trying to be close to us, link up with all those kind of things. Now, David did a lot of groundwork because I beat people up, how his name was getting spread, but with Solomon, it was a true rest. Right? And think about when Bathsheba go there, they grabbed the story and always put like, oh, she was trying to get with Solomon, she got him pregnant, and the Rastafarians came from it. They always go to that aspect of it. But one of the biggest testimonies came from the Queen of Sheba. She said, happy are you. Happy are your servants. The half have been told. She was given honor saying, she's a queen. She's been around a lot of fancy stuff. This ain't no regular person that never been to a kingdom or something. She's been around a lot of fancy stuff, brought up in it. You think you're going to wow her easily? She said, man, ain't nothing like it. Not just the stuff, the riches stuff, the order you have. Just look how the people, your service, everything is just perfect. That thing caught her, not her eyes, her spirit. And this is what we have to get back to that in righteousness. People supposed to come in and say, I've been to many churches and congregations and things, but I can just feel the spirit. Look at the women there. They're respectful, right? They're honored. They all that they get in that that will praise and put in the right sense, right? They're not getting disrespectful. They admonish that. The brothers are respectful. They're kind. They're not trying to be high men, act like bosses, but like fellow heirs with their brothers and sisters, right? When they see that kind of unity, everything, they're like, man, I want to be a part of this. I'm not lying. I want to be a part of God's people. Because I've been around a lot of people and it don't go well. But I can feel peace. I can feel rest. You can feel that thing. But when you get the spirit right and we do this thing, how the Bible instructs it, they can be able to feel it. They probably won't be able to describe it exactly. They'd be like, I can just feel something's different. But beloved, we have to make sure the spirit is dwelling in us and we're walking in it. And we won't even have to say too much. The spirit will go before us. All right. All right. Let's get back to this. So we got Miriam. Miriam is referred to as what? A prophetess. Yes, a prophetess. All right. Don't make her a bishop. Don't make her she's a prophetess. All right. And that's a powerful title, beloved. I don't know why people try to push it down. It's a powerful title. All right. What was she doing? She took what? The timbrel in her hand and took the women. They start praising God and dancing. Nothing wrong with that, beloved. We need to get back to praising our God because he's worthy of it. Music and everything ain't about us. No, it's about praising our God. And look how she took that role. I'm going to go and grab it, and I'm just going to start praising them. And guess what? That spirit hopped on what? The other women, and they start what? Praising and dancing God. This is why I'm like, you got to lead with what God told you to do. You got praise in your heart. Stop waiting for everybody else. If they don't get over, I'm going to go and give God his praise and his glory. And if they come and follow me, good. If they don't, it's still all good. I'm still going to give him his praise because he's worthy of it. I don't care if I can't, maybe I can't clap my hands or but I'm going to clap because God's worthy of the claps. I might not be able to sing, but I know he's worthy of songs and praise. See, some people want to be cute, and this is why you're going to be in that same rut. But those that stepping out on that faith, they will be blessed. All right? Their cups can be running over because they put their faith and trust and honor and effort into the Most High. All right? So I want to, because women ain't shown all throughout the scriptures as heavily as the men, right? I want to make sure I always take time for sisters, we can see that. And brothers, we can see that. All right? We honor our foremothers. All right? That stood on faith and did things. Okay? And some of y'all, beloved, this y'all foremother. Same thing in y'all. That same spirit should be in us. All right? All right, Brother Kai. Let's keep going so we can finish it up.
22. So Moses brought Israel from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. And when they came to Marah, they could not drink of the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore the name of it was called Marah. And the people murmured against Moses, saying, What shall we drink? And he cried unto Yahweh, and Yahweh shewed him a tree, which when he had cast into the waters were made sweet. There he made for them a statute and an ordinance. And there he proved them and said, If thou wilt diligently hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, and will do that which is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee which I have brought upon the Egyptians, for I am Yahweh that healeth thee. And they came to Edom, where were 12 wells of water and 70 palm trees, and they had camped there by the waters.
So, all right. So we look at this. All right. So once again, this is all part of the Most High plan. Of course, he knew there was some bitter water. He does these things so he can get recognition. We can understand things, beloved. All right. So he went 3 days in the wilderness. All right. And first of all, when you think of a wilderness, it's not just one wilderness in the world. I know some people read and just thinking one wilderness. Remember, when they was on the other side of the Red Sea, when we read, they was what? In the wilderness. They on the other side of the Red Sea. What? Wilderness. All right. Just a forsaken land. Okay. Um, so we look at it, we see what? The drinking, the bitter water, all right? The bitter water, so they couldn't drink, so they went to the Most High. Once again, this is to prove them, all right? Read that 26 again, because we need to hear that, understand it. 25 and 26, Brother Kai. Well, I help my son. Sorry. Did you catch that, Kai? I'm sorry. All right, you might step away. All right, I'm gonna read that 25 and 26. And he cried. So they asked him, what should he drink? And he cried unto Yahweh, and Yahweh showed him a tree, which when he had cast into the waters were made sweet. There he made for them a statute and an ordinance. What? There he proved them. Okay. We're going to see that later on, even when done with the Sabbath. This is to prove them. What is he proving? If thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of Yahweh thy God, and will do that which is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments and keep all his statutes. All right. So if we do these things, beloved, what he say? I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I brought upon the Egyptians. I am Yahweh that healeth thee. Okay. So the whole point is to show them I control these things. All right. I'm in control. If y'all do what I say, I'm going to take care of you. And the same thing is today. Deal with today. All right. And we can look at that. There were 12 wells of water. Some people look symbolic of the 12, the nation of Israel, 12 tribes, and 70 palm trees. Some people look at that, I believe, because I think, did we go in Egypt 70? I think it was something like that. All right. So some people make parallels with that. All right. And they camped there by the waters. Okay. Did anybody have anything for those verses? Anybody have anything for those verses? All right. All right, beloved, we shall end it there. All right. We are going to end it there. That was Exodus chapter 14 and 15. Exodus chapter 14